Hello and welcome to a new video from Stein Investments. In today's video I'd like to talk about the Forex trading strategies we use usually, which is mainly the breakout strategy. And so I'll show you some trade examples, explain you the conditions that are relevant for the trading strategy or what we have to look for. And while trading, I got some easy scalping alerts for Forex symbols as well, and so I traded them too. And then I thought it would be a good idea to include them as well and provide you a quick comparison of which strategy has what to offer and what are the differences and what are the benefits. And so that's what this video is about. As you probably know, you will find all our strategy descriptions and templates for your charts with our tools on our central Stein Investments page, which is mostly linked below every video we publish, and so you can easily access this source of information. So let's start with the breakout strategy. Here you'll find a detailed explanation, and we mainly look for these line splits where all trend lines of one currency are above the other currency, or vice versa, as you like. You'll see how to trade these opportunities, where to place the stop loss, how to determine a reasonable risk and reward ratio, and that's what this video is mainly about. The easy scalping strategy is also available on our central page, and you'll find it here along with some screenshots that explain it in detail and a tutorial video which I made 2 days ago to explain how to set up IX Power, how to work with this tool, and how to trade the easy scalping strategy. Here's an excellent breakout strategy setup on the British pound long against the Swiss franc, which is currently going down. And you can see there is a one-sided dynamic, and we speak about a dynamic if the short-term trend is clearly forcing the direction of the long-term trend. In this example, you see long-term trend on the Swiss franc is a sell, and it's going down, and the short-term 4-hour analysis indicates some momentum. It's already reached the extreme stage of the scale, and this momentum is relevant for the timing of your trade. So in this example, we take the trade with a stop loss right below here and a profit target at the 80% ATR. So let's do that now, and then we'll check the outcome of this trade later on. The British pound against the Canadian dollar provides another breakout strategy setup. In this case, it's already a double-sided dynamic because we see some dynamic here on the Canadian dollar, which is going to the short side, and the second dynamic comes from the British pound, which rose short-term above its long-term 1-week trend. The problem in this scenario is the support cluster you see here, which is already more than a day old. It tried to break through yesterday evening, but was unable to do so, and so it reversed, and this looks like a second attempt to break through this resistance right now. It's not very promising, especially if you consider that the next support level is already here. So if you think about a reasonable risk and reward ratio, we would have to place our stop loss here, and the profit target, if we break through this, should be here. And so you get a maximum of 1-to-1. And the risky part of this trade is this resistance, because if it holds, the price drops back and there is no chance to reach this target. So this is a perfect example for a trade that fits the breakout strategy entry rules, but the support and resistance analysis prohibits to take a trade because the risk is bigger than the reward that is possible, so we drop it. Another great example is the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar, also a double side dynamic breakout strategy setup, but we had some news from the Royal Bank of New Zealand which caused this spike to the downside, then it went back, and all this caused an ATR of already 120% for today, so we already exceeded the usual volatility on this pair, which limits the potential for profits, and you can see that the next resistance cluster is very close, while we had to take the stop loss around here, which makes it a risk reward ratio of 1 to 0.5. So this is also a non very promising setup, and we drop it as well. I think we can ignore the New Zealand dollar completely today because the New Zealand dollar reached 129% already. Starting from 130%, we recommend to exit positions on a currency, and so we can ignore the New Zealand dollar for the rest of today. Then we have another setup on the euro against the British pound, which is showing some dynamic to the upside. The euro is slightly going down. You see this downtrend euro against the British pound is already established. We have a clear separation on the long-term trends. The volatility also reached only 51%, so there is enough potential to the downside. There is also no support level inside. We have only resistance levels. And so I would say we take this trade with a stop loss above this high and target the 80% ATR for today. So we are placing a sell trade here and place our profit target here, and then we'll see how it goes. Here is another good example for a breakout strategy setup. Currently with a double-sided dynamic for maybe 10 to 15 minutes now. The euro is clearly going down and the yen remains on the strong side. So let's have a look at the situation regarding support and resistance levels, and you can see there is plenty of space to the downside, and euro yen only moved 61% today. So I would say we'll place a sell trade here with a stop loss right above here and a profit target at the 80% ATR level. So let's do this, and then we'll see how this evolves over time. So meanwhile, I received an extreme sell alert for the euro, which is going down pretty heavily across all the analysis periods. And so this offers the chance for further breakout trades. And so I'll go through all the euro pairs to check the possibilities we get with this setup. We can see the US dollar is going to the upside, and so we could risk a sell trade here on euro USD with either a tight stop loss here or a bit wider. I would prefer a bit wider stop loss, and there is still plenty of space to the downside because we have only 46% ATR reached today. And so I would say we place our stop loss here and target the 80% ATR on the downside. Next pair is euro against the Aussie dollar, and here we see is only dynamic on the side of the euro, and we are already directly in front of a support level, so I skip this one. Euro NZD is pretty clear. We already said we dropped the New Zealand dollar pairs due to the extreme spike of the news event, and we already reached 181% ATR, so I would skip this one as well. Moving on to euro against the Canadian dollar, and here is a promising setup with plenty of space to the next support level. So we place our stop loss here and set the profit target here and move on to the next one. Euro Swiss franc is usually a tricky one because they are highly correlated and you already are right inside support level, and the next ones are rating, so there's nothing to get from this one. And last but not least, we have our euro Japanese yen trade we've already taken. So right now I would say we make a break and wait what the market offers during the next hours. So, and here we got an easy scalping trigger alert for the Aussie dollar against the Canadian dollar. Stop loss would be right here, and we'll see if this pair is able to reach at least this resistance level, or maybe rises even higher. And here is another easy scalping alert, this time on the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen. This setup worked before during the Asian session, and then we had the reversal to the upside, and now I'm looking to sell this pair, hopefully getting back to the previous low area. So we place the stop loss here, and then we'll see how it goes. So here's another easy scalping setup, this time on the Aussie dollar against the Swiss franc to the upside. Stop loss is here, profit target here. It's almost 1-to-1, so I will take this one, and then we'll see what happens next. Here is a nice easy scalping setup on the yen against the US dollar. So we short the US dollar against the yen and place the profit target directly here at the support level. So to say it up front, today didn't work as expected, but provided some interesting insights, and we've been able to close the day in profit. So let's start our trade recap, and I'll start with the British pound against the Swiss franc, which has been a breakout setup here. It was ideal, a double-sided dynamic breakout setup, and it didn't work. The British pound was not able to move any further to the upside, and so this trade went down, hit the stop loss, and we've been out on this one. The second one was the euro against the British pound, and I have to say we had very bad luck with the euro today, because during today's morning session there has been an interview with someone from the ECB board, and she gave an interview to the Financial Times saying that it's time to rethink the rate cut policy of the ECB, and so this naturally stables the euro, and so we've been facing a euro up move in the following hours across all euro pairs, and thanks to our reasonable stop loss we've been able to keep the trade and close it right now at the end of the London session here at almost break even. Euro yen performed way better because the yen was really strong during today's New York session, and this helped a lot on this pair and provided some great profits here, which at least covered a part of the losses we've taken with the two other trades here. Euro USD was also able to provide some profits. You can see this was a sideways move right after the news came out, or right after this interview came out, but the New York session added some further volatility and Euro USD was able to continue the down move it began during today's Asian session. Last but not least, we have Euro against the Canadian dollar. Same picture as on the others. Was not able to go straight to the downside, moved upwards, and we've been able to close it break even. As you can see, there are different magic numbers. These 1, 2, 3 magic numbers are from the instance I took the breakout strategy trades with, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magic number trades are the ones I picked with the easy scalping strategy. And so let's have a look at these trades as well, starting with the Aussie dollar against the Canadian, which didn't work in first place. It was able to reach the resistance level as expected, but our profit target was just a handful of pips higher, and so it was razor thin that the Aussie against the Canadian missed this profit target, dropped down. We've been stopped out, and then came another signal here, which I missed because I was currently not at the office, but I checked it later on and saw the setup is still valid, and so I picked this trade, targeted the same resistance level again, and so I've been able to add some profits here on this pair as well. Here is the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen. Of course, the yen strength during the New York session helped a lot, and I'm happy with the trade itself and the target I've chosen, because it went only a few pips further down, and then you can see the move already ended. Moving on to Aussie dollar against the Swiss franc. This one didn't work. No problem with that. That's part of the game. So yeah, that was a perfectly valid setup. Two trends on the strong side. The 4 hours came back, crossed the zero, but was not able to fuel this pair, pushing it to this resistance level. And so yeah, US dollar against the yen. Awesome move to the downside. Signal came, I took the trade, picked the stop loss here, and it went straight down. It would have been probably better to place the profit target at the M5 support instead of the M15 support, but that's how it is. Next time I'll try it the other way around and choose the profit target based on the time frame I'm trading on. Okay, this was the second Aussie dollar Canadian trade, which is why we see this chart again. And last but not least, this was an awesome one, the euro against the Aussie dollar, and it was a picture perfect trade straight to the end. Here we received a signal. It came from our custom alerts tool. I received it on my mobile device, and so I picked the trade, placed the stop loss right above here, and place the profit target here at this support level, and it was perfectly hit and added the most profit for today with a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2, almost 3, and so we've been able to close this trade in profit, even though we had some difficulties during these unexpected news which were nowhere announced. But we have, as traders, we have to deal with that. And if you are looking for a reasonable risk and reward ratio and are strict with your risk management, you can handle these situations easily, and you'll be able to end even such days with a profit. Now let's compare both strategies on the Euro Aussie dollar trade, because it was a perfect example of the advantage of the easy scalping strategy. And the main reason is that the breakout strategy itself waits until a trend has been established. And if you then wait for the additional dynamic, the short-term momentum, you are probably pretty late in a trade. As we can see here, the dynamic started here on the Aussie dollar, and this is where the magic already happened, if you want to say so. And so in this example, you can see that the easy scalping strategy is perfect if you want to spot the continuation of a trend directly after the reversal move ended. It doesn't work always, but if it does, you have an excellent risk and reward ratio because you can place the stop tight and usually have plenty of space to your target. And that's a big advantage for this strategy because you can also lose 1 or 2 trades and you are still big in profit. And if we have a look at the stats here down here, then it's pretty obvious which strategy provided the most to today's profits and which is the better one for today. So that's it. It's up to you which one to choose. I hope you liked the content we provide, and I hope you learned a bit of how to separate good trading opportunities from worse trading opportunities, how to determine a reasonable risk and reward ratio, and how to work with the support and resistance levels as profits targets, because they help you a lot finding the right target, as you can see here, because it's a perfect hit, you get the profits and then you're out and done. That's it. Was a pleasure to create this content for you, and I hope you'll be able to trade as well as we do with these tools. And in case of questions, just drop a line or a comment below this video. We are always here to help, and we are looking forward to make you a better trader. That's it. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for watching. See you and bye bye.